And good morning, everyone. It is 9:59, so we're rolling upon our start time of 10 a.m. I hope everyone has done their morning stretches and had their coffee, their orange juice, their tea, something to welcome the day. But on behalf of Monica and Brian from the HR group and all of our senior leaders, we welcome you this morning and thank you. We're glad you're able to join us for this Tuesday morning, part of Georgia State Employee Recognition Week. We have a great day planned today, as you've seen through the agenda, where we'll share some carefully selected sessions that will highlight some key benefits to all of us as state employees, which is a true investment in us and our teams. And so we start today with a very special guest speaker. If you haven't met her, you need to put her on the top of your list to meet, Miss Julie Sharp. She is our business partner. She's the account manager for FEI, known as EAP for us, the Employee Assistant Program. Working with Julie now just, I think it was about 6 days, is clearly an amazing privilege and experience. So Julie, thanks for your time and your dedication to the GDOT team and the entire employee group in the state of Georgia. Julie, the virtual stage is yours, and welcome. Good morning.
Well, thank you, Michael. Thank you for that great introduction. Wow. Of course, I am happy to be here. So thank you all for the opportunity to kick off your day with just a brief review of your assistance program. I know many of you are familiar with it, but it never hurts to refresh, give you a refresher on what's available to you. Of course, the Employee Assistance Program is really there to support just your overall well-being, if you will. So the hope is that you'll use this as a kind of a tool in your toolbox to help improve your mental health, reduce your stress, and just support your health overall. A reminder that the services are free to you as an employee, and the benefits also apply to your family and household members. It is a confidential program. We're guided by regulations, and it's accessible to you 24/7, 365. And the services include mental health sessions, life coaching, financial consultation, legal referrals, work-life resources and referrals, personal assistant, and medical advocacy. So we'll talk a little bit more about each one of those. But just a reminder that, again, the counseling is confidential. It's HIPAA compliant. You can access services by phone, online, video, as well as, of course, face-to-face sessions. Again, there's no charge to you. It's available to your household members. And we do the best we can to match you with someone, that's a good fit for you. So there's various ways that you can interact with the services, including in the moment counseling support. Now, this has always kind of been available. It just, in my experience with EAP, has not been something that's been promoted or put out front necessarily like it has now. But in the moment counseling support is just for you if you just need to talk to someone for a few minutes. We have what we call a Tier 2 clinical support. So if you call our EAP line and indicate that you would like to speak with somebody, they can connect you with that clinical person to provide just a few moments of support. So just, I don't know, an example with that, if you kind of struggle with anxiety or something like that, and just during the day need someone to kind of talk you through that and maybe give you some tools to help, that's available to you. Video counseling, of course, since the pandemic, the video counseling has been huge. That just really, I guess, changed the paradigm, if you will. So a lot of people like video counseling. You can tend to get referrals much quicker with video counseling. Telephonic sessions, same way. Some people don't have the technology to do video sessions, and they will do telephonic sessions. And then, of course, your face-to-face sessions, which remain popular, sometimes so popular that it takes a few days to get connected with somebody. But typically in this area, we're able to do that. So let's talk a little bit about the mental health sessions. These are short-term, solution-focused counseling to help you navigate successfully, if you will, the kinds of issues that we all experience. Things like grief and loss, some depression, anxiety, life challenges, work and life stressors, conflict and interpersonal conflict and relationship issues, substance misuse, anything like that. And things don't have to be bad for you to do that, right? We really want you to take advantage of the benefits that are available to you and get some support early on, which kind of prevents that escalation of issues that happen when we ignore things and don't address them. And you have up to 4 sessions. And let me check something. I think I might have found yeah, it's 4 sessions. Yeah, that's right. 4 sessions per issue per year, right? So you can use up to 4 sessions for, say, if you're having some work stress, and then say, a month or so later, you have an interpersonal issue or a loss in your family, and it would be helpful to talk through that with somebody, then you're eligible for another 4 sessions. So just something to be aware of, that is always available to you. Now, the life coaching is short-term coaching. Again, you're eligible for up to 4 sessions per year. Now, the coaching, there's some overlap with counseling, but coaching is focusing more on maybe goal setting, professional and personal development, relationship strengthening, improving your communication skills, your time and project management skills, that kind of thing. Now, this is all virtual versus the counseling, which can be virtual. It also can be face-to-face. The life coaching also, I believe the first session is kind of a regular 50-minute session, and then subsequent sessions tend to be about 30 minutes. So this is something that's new to us in the last couple of years, and I don't know if it's been on your radar or not, but one of the reasons we wanted to have this today is just to remind you that the life coaching is available to you as part of your EAP benefit. Now, financial consultation. Again, this is a financial consultation to help with managing debt, budgeting strategies, those kinds of things. And actually, we have an in-house financial team that works directly with you. So I really love this about the financial consultation piece, which is new to us. Again, typically these kinds of services are contracted out, to a partner, but we have an in-house team that covers about 85% of the cases, and typically they will mirror the counseling benefits. So you can get up to 4 sessions with the financial team. So this is great. So I'd encourage you to use it. We have a great team. They also are responsible for our financial trainings that we also offer. So it's DJ, and then he's got a team of 3 or 4 people with him. So the legal referrals, these are legal referrals for elder care, bankruptcy, real estate, just about anything except employment. You can't use the legal referral service for anything to do with employment. Just to be candid on the legal referrals, basically what this is giving you a short list of legal referrals for the area that you're needing support in. There's not really any benefit associated with it. We do have a free simple will that is available through the legal benefit. So that is always important as well. And also on the member portal that we'll talk about, there are also legal forms and resources on there as well, including, I believe, a simple will form. But resources and referrals. Again, this is information and referrals for things like child care and elder care and some of the other things that you see here on the screen. I always like to point out, of course, child care is the #1 reason that people use work life, and elder care is a close second. One thing about child care, people tend to plan ahead, if you will. So you're organized, you've got a goal in mind, and you are looking ahead, planning ahead. With elder care, it tends to be much more crisis oriented, right? So mom falls and breaks a hip, and then she's in the hospital. It kind of throws the whole family into crisis. It then brings up a lot of questions about, what happens after this? What kind of support is she going to need? Is she going to need rehab? Is somebody going to need to be with her at home? It can be very overwhelming, as I know from personal experience, about how to manage this, especially if you haven't really been part of that world. And so work life can help with that process. It can't take it all necessarily, but we can do part of that initial research for you and just help give you some support in getting the resources and things you need to address these kinds of issues. A personal assistant I like to think of as kind of enhanced work life, if you will. These, again, information and referrals for things like home renovation, meal delivery services, transportation, those kinds of things. And one of the things that we've gotten a lot of great feedback about is the travel research and planning. So something to be aware of. This, again, is fairly new to us, and we've had really good feedback on this as well. Medical advocacy, we have an in-house medical social worker to provide assistance for you and your loved ones who may be trying to, again, navigate through kind of the healthcare morass, if you will. Just help with interpreting information related to claims, obtaining doctor referrals, planning for transitional care, that sort of thing, which can discharge planning, insurance navigation, appeals and claims, that sort of thing. And just so you know, what medical advocacy can't help with is finding mental health providers. Of course, they cannot provide any legal or medical advice. They cannot select an insurance policy for anyone or complete paperwork. But other than that, that medical social worker who's in-house with us is there to support you with those kinds of issues. And your member portal is your basically your EAP website. Has a ton of information on it, and I'm going to attempt to go there and show you. Sometimes it's easier to show you than to tell you. But there are resources on here. We encourage you to create an account. First time you would create your account, you would use your company code, G.EAP, and then you would create your own login like you do with a lot of things online, right? With an email and your own password. And then going forward, that would be your login information, and anything that you do in your account would be confidential. So let's just take a look at this if we can. So just so you know, you do not have to create an account to access services. So you see your member orientation and monthly webinars. So there's a lot you can access. And of course, you can access your benefits without creating an account, but point out a few things in here. Of course, here's all your contact information. You can contact us by calling, by submitting an online request. You can see here we've got calculators, legal forms. Here's the legal forms I was telling you about. So you've got your basic will, you've got your child care agreement, your rental application, those kinds of things. You've got your soft skills courses. That's something I always like to point out. Your soft skills courses section has things on anger management, office politics, attitude, work ethic, personal and professional development kinds of online modules. So this is something I like to point out. You can use this yourself if you're a supervisor or manager and you're working with someone on certain aspects of professional development. You can have them create, complete some of these courses. And once they're completed, they can send like a certificate of completion, email that to you as documentation that they have completed that course. So I really like the soft skills courses. Assessments. This is something else that I really like. These are self-assessments. If you have a little bit of concern about your alcohol use, or you're having some anxiety or depression, if you're concerned about your gambling habits, or your financial wellness, or your personal resilience, or whatever, these are here for you just to increase your own self-awareness. So you may want to do some of these assessments, and if you feel like you need some, additional support, you might want to seek that out. So that's kind of what that is there for. We've got a discount marketplace. I have not used it, but when I was looking at it, it looks really good. So I think I'm going to try to go back in and take advantage of that. But we've gotten great feedback about the discount marketplace, the resource locator. You can look up things by zip code. These are all government or government vetted kinds of resources. It's kind of something you could use in lieu of the work life service, but you may not. You may want to just give us a call. So those are just some of the things that are available to you on the member portal. So let's see, the Insights newsletter. I'm not sure if you all received this or not. This comes out every month, but it typically has a theme. The theme, of course, for May, Mental Health Awareness Month, we would have a few articles, maybe a very short video, 2 webinars that we have each month. If you can always go here to this Insights Hub to get any of the back issues or any of the articles. These articles, you can typically create a PDF flyer if you want to do that. If you want to pull out things and use them in your own internal communications, you can certainly do that as well. So those are articles and videos and content of the Insights newsletters. And we have a monthly webinars. We offer 2 live webinars each month. Then those webinars are posted in the webinar library. So you have on-demand content available to you at all times. I think you may be going to use some of this today or this week sometime. So you can see you've got upcoming live webinars, and then you have your webinar library. So those are great content for you to be aware of. Again, how to access your program, you can call us at the 800 number, the more traditional way. Some people do not like to call, so you can submit a request online through our member portal. And we also have live chat during business hours. So, and that's not for support, that's for referrals, just FYI. And I did want to say something about critical incident response. This is more of an organizational service, but just so that you know about it, critical incident response is basically workplace support for a work group that's been impacted by some kind of trauma, a disruptive event, some kind of a loss, like the loss of a coworker or something. It's not counseling or therapy. It's really intended to be workplace support, to support business continuity, is to provide a place to provide some psychoeducation, helping you understand, what happens if you go through a traumatic event, so that you understand what's happening and so that you are better equipped to come through it successfully. So if you have a group that you feel has been impacted by some kind of event, those hours are included. We can do that support virtually or on site. You would just contact HR to help facilitate setting that up. So again, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We talked about the Insights newsletter with several articles around the topic of mental health awareness. The upcoming webinar for May 23rd on mental health, supporting others in distress. And we also have a LinkedIn campaign, if you will. If you're on LinkedIn, you might want to join us. We're trying to address some of those important issues throughout the month of May. Again, just a summary of your sessions: mental health sessions, 4 per issue; life coaching, 4 per year; financial consultation, legal referrals; work life, personal assistant, and medical advocacy. And that is it. Michael, I don't know if we have any questions or anything like that we could talk about.
Julie, with the session, any of the questions that anyone that has joined us, if they've submitted to their HR team, and we can review those, Julie, together. So I'll touch base with you on any standing questions that we have. But I want to sincerely thank you for a great introduction to truly, and just an unbelievable amount of resources that are available, to each and every one of us. I could have made a couple lists on everything that I need to do. So it's absolutely great. So we really appreciate your time and your partnership, and we look forward to seeing you again in the future. So
sounds great. Thanks, Michael, and thanks everybody. See you again.
Thanks very much. All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care. All right, team, for those of us that are remaining on the call, we will transition over to the session that we have today, which is a mindfulness on the go.
Prasco. This webinar is another in this continuing series of webinars to support the customers of All One Health and the subsidiary EAPs. My name is Patrick Gall, and I'll be facilitating today along with Angel Holko, who's our technology expert. If you have any problems with viewing or hearing this presentation, please describe your issue in the questions section, and that's in the control panel, and Angel will do as much as she can to help you. And before we get started, I would like to make sure that our audio is working correctly. So if somebody could please hit the hand raise button and there we go. I see some hands. Thank you very much for that. Sounds like we're doing well. So the webinar today is 35 minutes of content, and we will respond to questions at the end if we have time. So if you have any questions as we're moving along, you can please post those in the questions box as well. And there will be a few interactive slides where so questions will be asked, and so we may break for a few questions in the middle here. So take a look, familiarize yourself with that questions panel. Also, a certificate of attendance will be emailed to participants automatically by GoToWebinar after the program is finished. So if you need a certificate, be on the lookout for that email. The webinar is being recorded, so reminder of that, and it will be posted onto your EAP website within the next couple of days. So that being out of the way, our speaker, again, as I said, is Belma Prasco, and she's a licensed professional counselor and an EAP clinician and account manager. For the 3 years prior to joining All One Health, Belma has worked in private practice and behavioral health hospitals, working in a variety of clients ranging in, working with a variety of clients ranging in with a wide range of presenting concerns. Belma is currently attending her doctorate program at Alder University for counselor education and supervision, with specific courses regarding advanced counseling techniques. Her presentation on mindfulness on the go will provide both fellow clinicians and clients an opportunity to learn how to better engage in daily mindfulness practice and lead a healthier lifestyle. So if that's what you're here to learn, then stick around and take it away, Belma. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar regarding mindfulness on the go. Not to be redundant after that great introduction, but my name is Belma Prasco, licensed LPC in the state of Illinois, and an EAP clinician and account manager at All One Health. I'm currently pursuing my doctorate degree in counselor education and supervision at Adler University, and I've taken many courses regarding mindfulness. As a practicing clinician myself, I love providing psychoeducation and making therapeutic interventions both doable and accessible to clients everywhere. Mindfulness really can be for everyone, so in today's discussion, we'll be talking about the many ways that you can incorporate it into your daily life, especially while you're on the go. And just to briefly cover our agenda for today's presentation, we'll be discussing the origins of mindfulness and what it truly is. We'll also cover really understanding mindfulness with an opportunity to practice it during the presentation so that you can experience it for yourselves. And we'll also talk about why mindfulness matters, how it can be beneficial in so many ways, and find practicing strategies and interventions you can use on the go. And then we'll conclude with a brief summary and save some time at the end for questions or any extra conversations you'd like to have about the topic. Now, I love making presentations that are interactive, engaging, rather than just boring through all the lecture. I'm going to pause here to hear from some of you what it is that you're hoping to learn today. Do you have any ideas or thoughts about mindfulness already? And maybe if you're not comfortable answering that, maybe just try to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 how mindful you might be already. Feel free to utilize that chat box or that question box, as I understand many of you may be muted or unable to speak. I just want to keep some things in mind as we kind of go through this presentation.
See ya, 7 so far. Somewhat. So
Okay, good.
Yeah, probably a 5. We got a 6. So people are coming up in the average range here. There's a 4. Someone really wants some help there. Scale 1. I need help developing skills and being aware of my mindfulness. How to deal with holiday travel with divorced parents. Okay, that's a good one. Sort of. That's another answer. Someone's hoping to learn how to not multitask every minute of every day. So yeah, get some focus there. Got some more numbers. 4, 5, 6, 5. Someone's stating, I currently have reminders to stop and take a moment, but it would be nice to get tips on keeping that in the forefront while I'm traveling. So a lot of travel thoughts coming up. Getting intentional about breaks during the workday. Couple more numbers, 5 to 7, another 5. Someone excited for new techniques. Needs to disconnect to be mindful. Wow, a lot of people, a lot of comments here. So how does that work for you? I don't know we could probably read comments all day, but I think
Right.
sense for what people are looking at?
No, that's amazing. And I really appreciate everyone sharing. I think it just helps to give a bigger picture of how everyone's feeling, where we kind of are already on the scale, and what we're really hoping to get out of today. I think we'll cover a lot of those topics. And again, if we don't address anything specific during the presentation, we'll definitely save that time at the end and we can get into some more nitty gritty. But I'm definitely right there with you. My mindfulness is not perfect at all. I'm not a 10 either, despite being a clinician myself and a client and just an individual overall. No matter how much I preach it, it's really difficult to practice, but we'll definitely cover some tips and tricks that you might be able to incorporate in making this a little bit of an easier process, for sure. So let's go ahead and continue on here. So what you're seeing on your screens right now should just be a chart of mindfulness and its interest over time. I thought this might be interesting to look at because though mindfulness is not a new concept and has been around for a while, in recent years, the West has really begun to take advantage of the power of mindfulness and meditation. And as a result, its popularity has been rapidly increasing. Mindfulness has had a tremendous surge in popularity, especially in the past decade, both in popular press and psychotherapy literature. Owing largely to the success of mindfulness-based stress reduction, or MBSR programs, and the central role of mindfulness in dialectical behavioral therapy, as well as acceptance and commitment therapy, mindfulness has really moved from once largely obscure Buddhist concept to a mainstream psychotherapy construct. And so let's get into a little bit about what mindfulness is, where it's come from, and how we can use it. So mindfulness traces its origins back to ancient contemplative traditions, primarily within Buddhism and ancient yogic practices. Around 2,500 years ago, Siddhartha Gautama, later known as the Buddha, explored the nature of human suffering and the path to liberation from it. Through his profound insights and meditation practices, he developed the foundation of mindfulness, integrating it into the core of Buddhist teachings. Mindfulness, as articulated in Buddhist philosophy, emphasizes the cultivation of awareness and presence in every moment, fostering an understanding of the impermanent and interconnected nature of reality. Over centuries, mindfulness practice spread across various Asian cultures, becoming an integral part of spiritual and philosophical traditions. And in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, mindfulness gained widespread recognition in the West, thanks in part to the work of pioneers like Jon Kabat-Zinn, who secularized and adapted mindfulness practices into the mindfulness-based stress reduction, or MBSR program. And today, mindfulness is embraced globally as a secular practice, utilized for its therapeutic benefits and incorporated into various fields, including psychology, education, and healthcare. Over the course of time, various therapeutic modalities of mindfulness have been incorporated into practice, including meditation, breath work, focus on somatic sensations, and for youth like children and adolescents, there are a lot of fun games and activities that can promote mindfulness into their lives as well. Advocates of mindfulness would have us believe that virtually every client and their therapist could benefit from being mindful. And in fact, mindfulness has been proposed as a common factor in psychotherapy. Among its theorized benefits are self-control, objectivity, affect tolerance, enhanced flexibility, improved concentration and mental clarity, emotional intelligence, and the ability to relate to others and oneself with kindness, acceptance, and compassion. The term mindfulness itself has been used to refer to a psychological state of awareness, a practice that promotes this awareness, a mode of processing information, and a characterological trait. The word mindfulness originally comes from the Pali word sati, which means having awareness, attention, and remembering. Mindfulness can simply be defined as moment-by-moment awareness, or as a state of psychological freedom that occurs when attention remains quiet and limber without attachment to any one particular point of view. And I know that was a lot of information shot out at you guys, but I just wanted you to have a sort of base foundation of mindfulness before we go into our next step, where I'd like us all to maybe take some time to try and experience mindfulness. And the way that we're going to do this, for the purpose of understanding mindfulness in its essence, I figure we can go ahead and take some time to practice it right here in this webinar. Knowing how hectic our lives can be, if we can only use these 5 minutes throughout the entire day to be mindful, then we can really utilize this to our advantage. For this exercise, I'd love for everyone to first just become as relaxed as possible. Notice tension in your body wherever it may be, whether it's in your shoulders, your neck, your chest, your arms, your legs. Just slowly begin to release those muscles. Slowly begin to relax them. There's nothing anyone requires of you right now, so try to just focus on a sense of calmness and peace, if at all possible. Notice your breathing. If it's rapid, if it's shallow, try and take a few deep breaths and focus on making your exhale longer than your inhale until you feel as though your lungs are inhaling fresh air and they're regulating themselves. Next, I want you to observe your thoughts and notice how many you have. Notice what you're thinking about. If you're planning the rest of your day, then you're focusing on the future. If you're worrying about something that has already happened, you're focusing on the past. Try to focus on the present moment and bring yourself back to attention through your breathing and body muscle relaxation. As you begin to feel yourself slowly sinking into awareness and a state of tranquility, I want you to spend a few minutes imagining yourself sitting by a stream where you can see your thoughts passing by as leaves on water. And as each leaf or thought passes by, do not engage with it. Simply acknowledge it through visualization and let it pass. Do not resist your thoughts or try not to slip into the thoughts, but rather just let them pass, each and every one, down your stream of consciousness. If you find your mind wandering, gently bring yourself back to focusing on your breathing or somatic sensations and continue letting your thoughts flow. We'll continue doing this for a few more minutes in silence, and remember that this exercise is only a few moments, but this time is really dedicated to you. Allow a sense of peace to wash over you as you do nothing more than observe your thoughts and continue letting them pass naturally. Okay. If your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them when you're ready. Bring yourself back to the present moment, and then we'll go on into our next step. I would love for us to discuss that a little bit. So I'd love to hear about your experiences, about what that was like. If you noticed anything about your thoughts or maybe throughout your whole body as a sensation, I'd love to hear a general idea of whether that was difficult, whether that was easy. Was it hard to stay present? Was it easy to relax? How possible would this be for you in terms of a daily task? And if you notice any changes in how you're feeling now, or if you have any ideas as to why someone may enjoy mindfulness, or maybe if they wouldn't, if they would have any difficulties with it. You can go ahead and post those in the chat box or the question box, wherever you posted earlier. I'd just love to hear your experiences.
Okay, getting some pouring in here. Oh boy, you know, make my thing a little bigger because it's moving past.
Oh, here we go.
Love the imagery of the leaves on the stream. Felt very peaceful. Oh man, I'm losing a lot on here. Let's just skip a few. I think it's doable on weekends and the 2 days a week that I telework. Somebody found it hard to relax knowing that I have work sitting at my desk. I know the feeling. Feel more relaxed, although it's difficult to get into the moment. I feel calmer. I feel guilty taking time to do this at work. Yeah, that's probably something other people share. I struggle to quiet my thoughts. I have many tabs open, like my. And I gotta open my windows a little more so I can see some of these longer ones. Where are we here? Oh, okay. I have many tabs open, like my internet browser. Yeah, I like that comparison. Very easy to do. No reason not to. I saw the fall leaves. Doing down a slow flowing stream. Loved it. Relaxing. Can be difficult to tune out exterior noises. Hard to do. Literally got 3 calls at the time. Man, it's a pretty busy day. Very difficult. Watch my emails all flow downstream. That's a great image. It's hard to change my mindset and not feel like I'm needed. Feel peace and relaxed. Mind not racing. A lot of big variety here. It's great. Some people are really, some people really seem to have this down and are able to put themselves into a very mindful place just by your suggestion. And others are extremely distracted and have a lot of things going on in their lives. So it's,
Definitely. And that totally makes sense. And I'd love to, again, just thank everybody for sharing their experiences. And I'd love to also use this as an opportunity to kind of just talk about that one mindfulness technique, just like any one therapeutic intervention or strategy, can't necessarily fit everyone. For those of you for whom that worked, I'm so glad. I'm a very big imagery and visualization person. So if I don't have a picture in my thought to focus on, it could be really hard for me as well. But it's okay if that method didn't work, and it makes sense why it didn't, considering the hectic lives that we live. And we'll definitely talk about some other strategies that you can use that are much quicker, maybe a lot more easier to kind of focus in on. But thank you all so much for participating in that and offering your feedback as well. I truly appreciate it. And thank you so much for reading the comments, because I can't see anything. Okay, now understanding that even though that exercise was just a few minutes long, we may not always stop to remember to meditate for 5 minutes, or sometimes we realistically don't even have those 5 uninterrupted minutes to practice mindfulness meditation. Especially with hectic lives and careers that require so much of our time, focus, and energy, it can be difficult to balance this practice into our day-to-day experiences. As even this quote mentions, mindfulness seems to address important issues organizations and employees are struggling with in a time of attention overload, multitasking, and stressors from increasingly complex work arrangements and 24/7 connectivity. I imagine that many of you may relate to this, and even when we're not in the role of being burnt out employees per se, we're also busy being a family member, possibly a caretaker, a friend, a teammate, a student, and so much more. We often have many obligations in life that can keep us busy and productive, so it's important to discuss how we can take mindfulness with us as we go through our daily motions. And so if you're asking, what can we do when we can't set aside time for hour-long meditations or even a 10-minute breathing exercises, I figure we can go on to some of these strategies that you're probably already doing in your life that you can kind of shift over into a more mindfulness perspective. So we're going to talk about some ways that you can practice the 3 foundations of mindfulness, which are attention, intention, and attitude, with informal practices that require no additional time out of your regular day. So with the first one, waking up, I think before getting out of bed, having an ability to call to mind your deepest intentions can set a positive tone for the day with a few words like, waking up this morning, I'm grateful for my life. Or waking up this morning, I'm really looking forward to the productive day I'm going to have. Or even waking up this morning, I can't wait to be done with work so that I can relax with my family and friends. It can really be anything that you want to specifically tailor, but that is really kind of that first opportunity in our day that we get that we can just steal a couple seconds away to be mindful. Or even using our feet on the floor, sitting on the edge of your bed, placing both feet on the floor and bringing your full attention to the soles of your feet for just a few moments and using them as an anchor for attention can help quiet that inner critic and prevent the default mode that we have of worrying and planning and self-referencing thoughts from kicking in. Similarly, walking can help as well. We can stabilize the tension by focusing on the sensation of your feet touching the floor as you walk or the air that you breathe in with every step. Maybe you're walking in silence and you're just focusing on the sights that you're seeing around you. try to notice a few things that you normally wouldn't on your walks if you take the same route daily. And if you don't have time to take a long, relaxing walk, maybe just walking a lap around your house or office space may help as well. Looking in the mirror is another strategy. Sometimes greeting yourself with acceptance is a great mindfulness tactic alone in and of itself. If you form the intention to look with eyes of openness and curiosity, you can notice how you look, focus on your eyes, and try to see behind them. Brushing teeth, we automatically also do every day. And so you can form the intention even then to allow mindfulness to inform and transform how you communicate today. And if you want more sensation-focused mindfulness practice, you can focus on feeling versus sensation. And intimacy to the toothpaste. How strong your arm is to make back and forth motions repeatedly. It's really a good silent moment to chat with yourself. It's really a good mindfulness check. There's also breathing mindfully. So using this practice while preparing a meal or gathering belongings to step out the door, really any time at all. We're constantly breathing, though we're not always aware of it. But we put our attention on the sensation of the breath in the body. When attention wanders, we can bring it back for breath. And you can try this practice in the car, in line at the market, during a difficult conversation. You can establish a set time each day to sit in the formal practice of it. And you can set that for anywhere as low as 1 minute up to 30 minutes, and some more, depending on your endurance, your patience, your availability, whatever works for you. I think meals is a great one as well. I think if you try eating one meal or even one bite in silence every day, even a moment of silence before meals can help the nervous system really settle. And even as you're eating, maybe focusing on the taste of the food, what flavors can you sense? Can you taste each ingredient? Is the taste really different depending on which side you chew on? This can be a really great moment of connection. And sometimes going out the door, if you pause in the doorway and kind of return to the felt sense in your body and take a breath, you can use this moment to practice not rushing. I'm really guilty myself of rushing out the door. I don't even think I remember the action this morning. But if you focus on the present moment, instead of focusing on where you're headed to next, this can be another really great mindfulness on the go tip. We've got a couple more as well. So I think during difficult moments, you can also try to anchor attention to a neutral object, such as sounds, or where your feet touch the floor, or the sensation of the breath in the body. Feel free to not use breath as an anchor if this feels uncomfortable or if your breathing is not regulated though. When stressful thoughts arise, you can kindly bring attention back to whatever anchor you are using and focus on your senses. What can you hear? What can you feel? What can you see? Can you taste or smell anything? You can also focus out. I think when stress or anxiety arises, focusing out can allow us to contract attention to expand into open awareness. So you can try looking at the sky, or you can listen to a distant sound. And remember that you have the capacity to shift through many gears of attention, and you can get as narrow and specific as you'd like, or you can really step back to see the bigger picture. Stop is a great one. You can use this one at actual stop signs or really just any time that you're reminded of the word. And it stands for stop, take a breath, observe thoughts and feelings, and proceed with kindness towards yourself and others. This one may be easier to see, considering that it may be a reminder that we see on our daily transportation. And if you like reminders, then maybe a mindfulness bell could work. So in the spirit of relying on external reminders, you can also try using your phone as a mindfulness bell. Or you could set a specific sound for incoming emails. And instead of checking emails right as they arrive, you can use that brief moment to return to mindfulness. You can also use apps like Headspace or Insight Timer, and you can even set alarms as reminders to take a full minute to meditate or just be in the moment. Sending and receiving is a practice that has 4 steps. The first one being notice it. So instead of turning away, allow yourself to feel a difficulty as it arises. Step 2 is naming it. So saying this is a moment of suffering, or this is a moment of anxiety, pain, distress, whatever it may be. Step 3 is breathing it in. Imagine breathing in the difficulty. If possible, you can breathe it in for others that are also experiencing that particular difficulty. And the last step is breathing it out. So imagine breathing out the relief for yourself and for others if possible, remembering that you're not alone and that you have the ability to transform stress and conflict into empathy and attention. Body scan is one of my favorites. This formal practice can also really be used anytime, and you can try it in a moment of stress while waiting in line or during a difficult conversation. You bring attention to your feet for 1 second. Notice what physical sensations are present. You can bring attention up through your lower legs. Notice what sensations are present there, and continue scanning up slowly, step by step, until you reach the top of your head, noticing with acceptance and without judgment. If tension is present, try releasing it as you are able and focusing on each individual body part or section as you go. Heartfulness is another great quick mindfulness exercise and really focuses on empathy. So another step-by-step procedure would be the first one being imagining it. So begin by calling to mind an image of someone you care about. Step 2 is repeating it. So saying, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful. Noticing how it feels to wish this person well. Step 3 is repeating it again and allowing yourself to receive these same kind regards, saying, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be peaceful. And notice how it feels to wish yourself well. We don't often get a chance to do that, I think. And so taking some time apart, not only to wish others well, but ourselves, is a really great sign of self-care and empathy. And then the last step, or the last tip, before bed. So right as your day comes to an end and you begin winding down, you can use this time to practice and value stopping and stillness. So take a few mindful breaths, sit for a moment in silence, reflect on your day, and call to mind one thing for which you're grateful. Or try closing the day with words like, going to sleep this evening, I'm grateful for my life. Going to sleep this evening, I'm grateful for the fulfilling day I've had. Going to sleep this evening, I'm excited to see what tomorrow may bring me. Now, I know we covered a lot of topics and a lot of little strategies and interventions, but I'm wondering if any of these strategies sounded appealing to you. If there's any, maybe 1, 2, or 3 that you can commit to doing daily for the next week, I think we can all try to change our routine by adding a few of these mindfulness tips and tracking our progress as well. I think that really allows us to see the evidence behind it. If we maybe jot it down in our notes app on our phone, maybe note it in a journal, or take a brief recording of ourselves to see how we feel overall and whether there may be a difference in how we feel after a week or 2. And I'd love for you to keep in mind if there are any particular ones that were your favorite, and we can continue discussing those at the end. I also want to cover benefits of mindfulness. There have been many studies focusing on benefits, and we mentioned some of them briefly at the beginning of this presentation, but I really want to highlight some of the main things that you can expect within yourself as a result of practicing regular daily mindfulness. So first, mindfulness can really benefit emotional regulation. It can help decrease reactivity and increase response flexibility. So think about how impulsive we may be when we feel hectic or clouded, bogged down or burnt out, and not in that present moment. Imagine that by allowing yourself daily time to meditate and self-soothe, if only briefly, your body begins to understand decreasing reactions while at the same time increasing your ability to react in different ways. This can be true for both physically and mentally. Mindfulness can also reduce anxiety and depression. Studies have shown that after 8 weeks of MBSR, or that mindfulness-based stress reduction, clients found decreased negative emotions, fewer depressive symptoms, and significantly less rumination. By allowing our minds to relax and breathe like a muscle during mindfulness exercises, we're training our brain to realize that we don't have to engage with every thought, and we can better control ruminating about unwanted or unpleasant thoughts as well. An additional benefit can be the improvement of relationships. So by making space and raising awareness of our own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, we can also learn how to better notice others' reactions, feelings, and thoughts, which can allow for more healthy interactions and communication. Imagine being able to gain empathetic skills as a result of first taking care of yourself, which we often neglect. Mindfulness can also improve our physical health. Medical studies have found that regular mindfulness practice can help lower blood pressure and hypertension, reduce chronic pain, encourage healthier sleep hygiene, and lower gastrointestinal issues as well. And finally, it can help increase overall emotional intelligence by helping to develop self-awareness, a deep understanding of ourselves, our own thoughts and feelings, and identifying what's important to us and where our priorities lie. And those are just a few to name, but to wrap up a lot of our discussion today and some key points to maybe take away, mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and engaged in the present moment without judgment or distraction. It involves paying conscious attention to your thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they arise, fostering a heightened awareness of your surroundings and inner experiences. By cultivating mindfulness, individuals learn to observe their thoughts and feelings objectively, enabling them to respond to situations with clarity and composure rather than reacting impulsively. This practice, rooted in ancient contemplative traditions like Buddhism, emphasizes acceptance and non-resistance, encouraging individuals to acknowledge their thoughts and feelings without becoming overwhelmed by them. Mindfulness has been widely adopted in contemporary psychology and therapeutic approaches for its proven benefits in reducing stress, anxiety, and depression, enhancing overall well-being, and promoting emotional resilience. Through regular mindfulness practice, individuals can develop a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them, leading to a more balanced and fulfilling life. Finally, I'd like to leave you all with this quote before we finish for the day and you all go on to continue your lives. Wherever you are, wherever you may find yourself today, be there totally. Be present, be in tune with yourself, and be mindful. Thank you all so much for participating in this webinar. I'd love to save some space to allow for anyone who may have any questions, comments, or concerns, or any conversations you'd like to have about the topic. If you have nothing further to add, then I just wish you a great and mindful day.